In a world covered by endless night, in a place where fear and despair thrive, in a time when all hope seems lost, two individuals arise to stand firm, resist the darkness, and light the beacons of hope to humanity. To the free people of the future, the courage of these two will mark them as heroes. To everyone else, they will simply be known as Nobodies.
Hello YouTube, thanks for tuning into Nobodies. I'm Dave, this is Brian, and we're just two nobodies talking about nothing, topics that no one cares about. And today we're going to talk about equality versus, I guess, liberty or maybe opportunity.
Yeah.
And just kind of go into, I hear a lot about inequality nowadays. It's like a big thing. And I just want to kind of talk about how equality might not necessarily be a good thing. So yeah, I mean.
Well, it's not exactly relevant, but this is the first thing that always pops in my mind whenever we talk about equality. I mean, come on. Fundamentally, nobody believes everyone is equal. Do you really think Hitler and Gandhi are on the same par as far as peoplehood is concerned? No, of course not. And if you agree with that, then you agree not everyone's equal. So everyone's stressing like, you know, oh, we need to strive for equality, I think are completely missing the point. I think what should matter more is a meritocracy where people get what they deserve and what they earn based on who they are as people. So instead of fighting for either equality, try to fight more for the sake of fairness, which I guess as far as the rhetoric is concerned, you know, social justice people like to push that. But for me, at least, when I'm hearing what they're saying, it's more of confusing equal opportunity with equality of outcome. And they're focusing more on equality of outcomes and opportunities. Mm-hmm. So, actually we were just talking about this like right before this video. I go to UC Davis, and I got an email from, I guess, like a Black Lives Matter type group that exists on campus. And one of the things that they were like demanding from the school was that they want X amount of black employees at the school.
Pause. There we go. Okay.
I guess we can just do a jump cut.
Yep.
Alright, sorry everyone, I had a little momentary pause there. Anyway, back to my point. So at UC Davis, well, Black Lives Matter student group is saying that we need to have like the proportional amount of African Americans that are in the United States. We need to have that many employees working for UC Davis. And see, this is where I'm talking about equality of opportunity and equality of outcome. Because right now they're focusing on outcome. They want a certain number of employees that the school is going to be hiring. But I'm sorry, what if, you know, either African Americans applying for the job aren't qualified, or what if they're just not interested?
Yeah, what if, that's my thing, what if they just don't apply, you know? What are you going to do then? It's just so ridiculous that you have that kind of a standard, you know? We need to have X amount of people. Like, just find someone qualified and hire them. I mean, that's absurd. This is just so absurd. You know, and like we were talking about earlier, you know, I could sit here and bemoan the fact of men in the beauty industry. We need more men in the beauty industry. Well, if you want to get in the beauty industry, just apply. Just do it, you know? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. Why? Because, number one, I don't care. Number two, like, why should I care? Like, if you want to do it, just do it. There's nothing stopping you. And if there is, well, there shouldn't be. But in this day and age, I don't think there is. If a guy wants to go into beauty school, I'm pretty sure he can. And actually, I feel like I'm able to talk about this. I don't know what the term I'm looking for is, but my wife, she's a beautician or cosmetologist, whatever, and she went to school, and there were a couple guys in her class. So nothing's stopping you, you know? But clearly, the beauty industry is way biased towards women. So it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, we have individuals making individual choices.
Exactly.
And some people are qualified and some people aren't. That's just the reality of the situation. Not everyone is the same. Not everyone has the same skill set. So having this mentality that Okay, but now I'm kind of might get into like, you know, racism things right here that people might be accusing of me. What I'm trying to say is like, okay, me personally, there are just some things I can't do. I'm not good at them. So trying to say that people like me should be qualified or should be in a certain type of field is just ridiculous. We need to look at everyone on an individual basis. And when you start saying that you have this group of people and these group of people need to be equally represented in this field, that just... How can we get to a point of meritocracy where we're evaluating people on an individual basis? Because there's no way to do that if in your mindset that we need to have an equality of outcome. If you want an equality of outcome, right there you have to dismiss the idea of equality of opportunity, because opportunity by definition means it's just an opportunity. That doesn't mean it's going to be taken. So if there's going to be a disproportionate amount of, you know, class of people A and class of people B, that is maybe based on individual choices, but there's no way to, you know, you to verify that if you're just going based on the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, we're all different shapes and sizes and heights. Well, that goes into size, but you know what I mean. Like we're all different, and that's great. I think that is so great. And go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, like, for all our talk of diversity, shouldn't we be focusing on why we're not equal and why, you know, we're individually different people? I mean, is that the whole point of quote unquote diversity?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think diversity is great, and you know, if you try to put people into little boxes and say we need X amount of minorities in this field, like that's putting people into a box. I think. Yeah. I think that's wrong. You know, if they want to apply, let them apply. But this whole idea of, you know, it needs to be so equal, I think is unequal. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. That's all I can say.
From Aristotle, if I'm recalling this correctly, the worst form of inequality is to make unequal people equal.
I think I've heard that one. Want me to look at it?
Nah, it's all right.
All right.
But also, I know you wanted to push on this, which we should, concerning about equality, because we're only talking about, like, you know, I don't even know how to classify it. But anyway, we want to go to the economics of the situation, too. So, you know, a lot of people, like, paint rich people as the perfect scapegoat to all of our economic woes. And when it comes down to it, I hate to be blunt about it, but who gives you your paycheck? Unless you're a government worker, which, you know, statistically speaking, you're a minority of the workforce, who's giving you your paycheck? You can hate them all you want, but the bottom line is if you're a worker, it's the rich person that's giving you the money. And if the rich person didn't have money, you wouldn't get a paycheck. The only other way that could possibly work is full-blown communism, and if you think that works, well...
We have history.
Yeah.
We have clear history to show you. That's kind of like Occupy Wall Street, you know, like, Occupy Wall Street sent from my iPhone.
Yeah.
You know, like, just the irony of that. And it's just silly. It's just... You know, people are going to have different incomes because people have different strengths and different weaknesses.
And different choices.
Exactly, choices. You have the choice. Like me personally, my income has gone up, my income has gone down. I've been through rough patches, I've been through good patches. Everybody goes through that. That's just life. You know, and the idea that we're all going to be rich and free and happy is nice, but that's not reality. And to sit here and to blame, you know, the rich or whatever, is just, it's ridiculous. I'm saying that word again. It's ridiculous. And I mean, there are things that are unfair. There are a lot of things that I think are unfair. Just from my political perspective, you know, rules, regulations, taxes like that I think are holding people back. But even in this day and age, people are still making it. People are still doing it. You know, I mean, the guy that owns the paint store down the street, you know, your local beauty shop, going back to beauty, people do it all the time, you know. And they buy a house, they get the car, they have to get whatever. It's still happening. So to sit here and just say, like, the rich just... It's the fault of the rich, you know, everything, society's ills, I think is a bit far-fetched.
It's naive. And I want to put a little disclaimer there. Concerning other issues, yes, we can blame rich people, but I'm talking about people who blame rich people for the sake of being rich.
There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah,
you know?
That is what we're specifically talking about, is the fact that people talk about wage gaps all the time.
Yeah, we're not talking about J.P. Morgan and Bear Stearns. Okay, we're excluding them, just FYI.
Yeah. They're talking about the principle matter of, you know, wage gaps. Like, people talk about it all the time, and I'm trying to think, like, you know, what would you rather have? A society where everyone's has an equal income, but they're all down here, or where there is a wage gap, but, like, the lowest people are up here, and the rich people are up here? it seems to me that this society would be better than everyone being down here equally. And in the world we live in, that's just economics. Because if you force equality down people, economic conditions go down. That's, again, we have history to back that up.
And I'm talking about history, if I could butt in, the Soviet Union, I think it was Gorbachev, don't quote me on that, but when he came over to the United States, you know, he saw the grocery stores, he saw the streets and the cars we drive, stuff like that. This was a guy who was an elite in his society, okay, Soviet Russia, and he was impressed with us, you know, like what we had. This guy, like I said, he was a 1%er of the Soviet Union, came over here and was jealous of the average Joe here in America. Like, doesn't that tell you something? You can't do that. You can't force everybody to be equal in physical or mental or income, whatever. It's just not how things work.
Yeah.
So, and it's, like I said, diversity is great. And why would you want to be equal anyway? You know, like I said, I've been up, I've been down, and I value those experiences very much. And I don't know why you would want to take that away from somebody. I mean, sometimes it sucks. But if something doesn't suck, how are you going to know something's good? You know?
That is pretty much... That hits the nail on the head. I mean, that was really beautiful. If you haven't been through, like, you know, if it's something bad, how do you know what good is? And if you have equality and you don't know what it is to be better, wouldn't that just create stagnation anyway? Because you wouldn't have any incentive to motivate yourself to go further.
That's my point, you know? I mean, what's your motivation? Why do you get up in the morning? You know? Do you want to be better? Or are you just going to shove food in your face and go to bed? I mean... Let's be honest, you know? We can't all be equal, and I don't want to live in that kind of world.
Yeah, and for the record, it's like neither of us are full-blown rich. I mean, I don't want to go too much of our personal lives, but it's not like we're coming from a position of quote-unquote privilege.
I don't know, I bought a Powerball ticket. Yeah. I did buy one. I'm not gonna lie. I just did it for fun. I didn't expect to win, okay? Don't hate me. I just bought it. Just one. Just because. Just to say, I bought a ticket for the biggest Powerball ever. Don't hate me.
We should do a lottery episode of gambling or something.
Yeah. There's no chance. There's zero chance. People say, oh, there's a chance. No, there's no chance. I just bought it just to feel cool.
Anyway, so yeah, going off of that, we're clearly not saying this because we're full-blown rich and we're just saying poor people need to get the program. No, trust me, we've been there. We don't have a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
But we understand the value of that. I mean, to an extent, it's like, you know, the journey is the destination. I mean, for me, at least personally, I don't want to be rich. And if even if I have a financial goals, that would be something interesting to strive towards, but never to actually, you know, get to. Because once that happens, I mean, things just get boring.
Like you said, there's no incentives, which is the exact problem with communism/socialism. You have no incentive. If you're not going to make a profit, you know, if you're not going to work and struggle or whatever, that's all they did, try to. But you know what I mean, for a goal, something better tomorrow than today, people just stagnate. And it's just human nature, you know, it's not like economics, it's not measurable, it's not quantifiable, I don't think anyway. It's just people, you know, it's just thoughts and feelings and very irrational things. You know, like theoretically communism could work, but we're people.
Yeah.
So, you know.
God, there's something I wanted to say. Right. It is not a coincidence that the biggest technological advancements have been made in capitalist societies as opposed to socialist ones. And why? Because, well, there is a market incentive in capitalist countries to innovate, to try new things, to try to better yourself. And if you want to force equality, you're unfortunately going to have to take that away. And I think when you do that, you're going to either A, take away a great possible thing that could come that make our lives better, or B, just stifle an important part of human nature, which is our desire to want to strive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I got nothing else.
I got nothing else, man. That was good. That was well said. And I mean, you know, I want to be better tomorrow than I am today. You know, I see people every day starting businesses. I mean, there's a little in the outlets nearby here. There's a guy that started a little hot dog stand. And honest to God, I thought about that. I thought about putting a hot dog stand in the exact spot where he put it. And I actually started to get my stuff together and, you know, do whatever because I hated my job at the time. And to me, it just wasn't worth it. You know, the city, the county, even the state all came down. There's a lot of regulations, health codes, this, that, tons of fees. Oh my goodness, the fees. And I just said to myself, you know, it might be worth it, but at the time, to me, it wasn't worth it. And then I drive by and I see this guy with his hot dog stand right there. And to that guy, it was worth it. And I was just, part of me was a little jealous, but part of me, I'm happy for that guy. Because he managed to do it. He managed to go out there and suffer the hurdles and the paperwork and the fees and all that to make that business work for him. And I think that's what America's about, and I think that's what it should be about. So, yeah, just a little story. Figured I'd close with that.
Competition. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you'll join us again.
See you next time. For our, 2 subscribers. We'll probably don't even watch this.
I think we're up to 3. Whatever, man. It's all about the message.
Right. See you next time on Nobodies.
Thank you.